Hello everyone, my name is Daisy Gonzalez and this is my role play assignment 2. I will be speaking about 3 different case studies between about a buyer and a seller and answering 3 different questions. The first question would be about to identify 3 most important aspects of that company. The second question would be to identify interference that could happen when speaking within your jargon and terminology. And third would be to identify what kind of techniques you could use to prevent that and to connect with your buyer better. So the first case study is Spear One Productions. Spear One Production is more of a party planning company. The 3 aspects would be partnerships. This is where the company tries to create events where the clients can be drawn closer to the customers. The second one is positioning objectives. This pertains to making sure that the advertisement is tied into whatever marketing campaign is being portrayed for that company. And the third would be as signage. This would be the client's logos and slogans. Signage would go hand in hand with positioning objectives. When getting caught up with jargon and body language, there would definitely be interference when identifying the buyer's concerns and if the buyer is acting a little odd. It would be difficult for a salesperson to think and build trust with the buyer if they're seeing body language of the buyer come off as distracting. And so a few techniques to understand the buyer would be 1, take pauses. Ask the buyer if she or he has any questions. Listen to their concerns. The second case study is McLane Properties Real Estate. The 3 aspects for this business is site plans and selections, geodemographics, and traffic patterns. So interference may be if the buyer has their hands folded, messing around with their hands, looking around casually, looking down, or just simply the intuition that the buyer does not feel connected or interested anymore. So techniques. This is where if I were the buyer and I'd ask questions about any terms that came out very unfamiliar. The buyer may not know what geodemographics is or what it means. This may be their first time in real estate properties, and so it's a salesperson's duty to help the buyer connect and make them feel welcome to ask any questions. Third case study is Dark Paper Productions Manufacturing. The 3 aspects is polystyrene, foam, pertaining to the environment. The third is municipal solid waste, waste that is not liquid. And the third is biodegradation. This is how the waste breaks down over time. The interference would be that the buyer would not know the terminology. Each term can become confusing to the buyer, and the buyer would probably be too nervous to ask any questions to the salesperson. So the techniques that I would use is more of like a teaching style. Tell the buyer what each word means, even if they don't ask. I would also ask more questions to the buyer. I would assure the buyer that it's okay not to know these words, so the buyer can be more comfortable. Those were all my 3 case studies, and thank you for listening.